Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Chris Anthony Ferrer. I'm an actor living out here in Los Angeles, California, and I have some wisdom to drop on you. Nice. Now, really quick rundown. I have only been here 2 years, little less than 2 years. Why should you listen to me? Well, because I went through the same struggle that you're about to go through. So, just listen. I just feel like people that are looking to move to LA, if you're an actor, especially if you're just out of college or you came here super late like I did, you need to have a little bit of a game plan and you need to have a little bit of a strategy, because if not, then you're just running around like a crazy person, just hoping to God something good happens, and when the hell does that ever work? You know what I mean? And you know what? It's good to kind of like understand what's you're walking into, because it gives you power. It gives you like just a sense of what the hell is going on, because I promise whatever you think LA is, it ain't that. You'll see. I hope you got like thick skin, because this shit's crazy. So I'm gonna give you 10 tips that I wish someone had told me, so that you can plan it out. You have a plan of attack. This isn't about like you're gonna be a star. Let's just first and foremost say that. I mean, you might, but not because of this video. I'll tell you that right now. This video is so that you understand what is happening the moment that you get here, and so that you're not like completely clueless or like chaotic or anything like that. So, with that being said, well, welcome to LA. So, tip number 1, have money saved. Have money saved. Do not come out here with no money. I know that it sounds obvious, but you just would be surprised. I recommend anywhere between $8,000 and $8,500 the moment that you step foot in here. I gave you an $8,000 to $8,500 kind of estimate because I'm giving you worst case scenario. I don't know if you're bougie. I don't know if you're like, I don't know, you want to live by yourself. A studio here is about, I don't know, it could run anywhere up to like $1,800 a month. When I first moved here, I got caught out, I got swept away, and I lived in this beautiful condo building thing, and I lived in an $1,800 a month studio. It was beautiful. It was like in the Hollywood Hill area, in the Burbank side, overlooking Warner Brothers. It was awesome. I loved it. Broke my bank. Just wasted every penny that I had on that just not worth it apartment. Not worth it to me. If it's worth it to you, then hey, account for it. So $8,000 to $8,500. An apartment can run as little as $1,200, $1,250. You just have to know where to look. What I recommend, if you're a young person or if you just don't care about not living by yourself, you get a roommate. Get a roommate, split it in half, or 3 ways or 4, depending on how many, who knows. But you have to have money saved so that you have first, last, and security deposit, and then 2 months as backup, because 9 times out of 10 you're going to come here, you're not going to have a job waiting for you, you're going to have to look for a job. So key here is don't be homeless. Bottom line, don't be homeless. So you want to prepare for 3 months. You want 3 months. In those 3 months, you have to get a job. You have to get a job. You have to pay your rent. But you're prepared for it. Now, I'm not accounting for food or whatever, because, again, this is just, I'd rather just, I don't know, eat bread as long as I know that I have a roof over my head. But, with that being said, shouldn't be living bougie if you're only eating bread. Tip number 2, know your neighborhoods. If you're moving out here, I recommend 100% that you move to North Hollywood. Anywhere in the valley really is going to be affordable, but North Hollywood is probably the starter pack of towns in Los Angeles. Let me tell you why. It's affordable housing. It's close enough to everything. Your auditions are probably going to be either on the west side, or which is Santa Monica area, maybe Culver City, which is a little bit east to Santa Monica, and you're also going to be in Hollywood a lot. You're going to have a lot of auditions in Hollywood, and that is your general focal point. Maybe sometimes you'll have auditions in Burbank or in the Valley, but your central focus is going to be there. Now, your commute with traffic is going to be depending on the time that you go. You have like maybe like a 2-hour window where it's like acceptable commute time traffic. Every other time is going to be way longer than it should be for like a 5-mile distance. If you live in the valley on the edge of the city, right over the hill, then you have affordability. It's close enough. You're still centralized. It's just not deep in the center. And you have the train station in North Hollywood that goes to Universal City, which is where Universal Studios is. Then it goes into Hollywood, and then it just keeps going all the way till downtown. And then once you're in downtown, you can branch off and go, I don't know, somewhere else. If you have a location like that where you are centralized, it's cheap, you can get around to where you need to go, it's a really good starter city, especially a starter town rather, especially if you're trying to learn the city and you're a total stranger here. I live in North Hollywood and my rent is about $1,200 a month for a 1-bedroom. Remember when I said $1,850 or $1,800 for a studio? North Hollywood is the way to go, especially if you're going to get a roommate. If you get a 1-bedroom in North Hollywood, that's about my rent, and you get 2 people, one person lives in the living room, your rent is about $600, $650, $625, something like that. I don't know math. But I don't know about you, but that sounds like a pretty hella good deal to me, especially if you're trying to save every penny that you can to invest it in your craft, in your business, in your art. Last thing you want to do is dump every penny in rent. Trust me, I know. Think long game, right? Long game. You don't have to live in this little town forever, okay? This is just for you to get your bearings, figure it out, get a job, yada, 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 etc., etc., etc. And then you can go wherever you want. You're free as a bird. Life is yours, baby. Take it by the horns. Tip number 3, know your brand. Branding is accentuating the aspects of yourself that you believe will sell you better for a particular role or casting or an agency or whatever. It's giving them a clear-cut image of what sells you the best. Remember, this is a business, so you need to sell your product, which is your personality and your skill and your strength. So you need to figure out, ask your friends, ask your parents, ask your teachers, ask the people who don't really like you, they'll be the most honest, and ask them what is the best way to describe you, and then tally it up, figure it out, try to see the consensus there, and be honest with yourself. And then figure out what comes easiest to you. What's your voice? What speaks to you? Because a lot of people come here and they don't know what to do as far as honing in their strength, right? So they come here and a lot of actors think that you're malleable and you can step into the shoes of another person and another character, which is exactly what acting is, right? That's what we're taught in school. But in the business aspect of it, you need to let them see you before they can see you, if that makes any sense. So figure out what your strengths are and then magnify it in a sense where everybody can say, ah, that's the sweet girl next door, or that's the sweet boy next door. Whatever your thing is, figure it out, have a game plan, and then that's just going to make you just so much more comfortable when it comes to approaching and looking for roles and taking your headshots, which comes in to the next one. Once you figure out your brand, let's say, I don't know, you're the rugged, forthright goofball who wears your heart on his sleeve. Say you're that, right? So if you're that, then you need to figure out how to channel that into a photo. Now, you might have headshots already from wherever town you're from, right? As soon as you get here, you need to get brand new headshots. And the reason why is because LA has its own market, it has its own style, it has its own look when it comes to photos. A lot of the photos here, like guy you meet on the street or girl you meet on the street, or like it's very like, they try to make it look very casual as opposed to like, or like those New York headshots that are like very, I don't know, like theatrical or glamour or whatever. It's very like on the street type of like regular person that you could see in something. So there's a specific look is my point. So you want to come out here, you want to look for a headshot photographer here. The one that I personally got, which I really enjoyed, was Michael Roud Photography. And guess where it is? Hey, he's in North Hollywood. So, I mean, I don't work for them. This is just like where I went, and they were great. Took my headshots with Chris, and shout out Chris. You're great. That's just an example, but look them up. Find the ones that are the style of Los Angeles. Find the ones that they look great, you know, and 9 times out of 10, the ones that are really great are really expensive. But you know what? It's an investment in your future, and if you sell yourself short in payments, then you sell yourself short in your career, and hey, in the long run, you just probably wasted your money. So don't be afraid to spend some money. It's worth it. It's your career. It's your life. You moved here for a reason. Go for it. Tip number 5, you don't need a car in Los Angeles. I'm going to say that again because I know it's very controversial. You don't need a car in Los Angeles. Sorry, I burped. This is the reason. What you need is a phone with Uber or Lyft, and that will get you around everywhere. If you live by a train station, then you take the train. Take the train. They got these Lime scooters. They got these birds. There are ways around it. If you can't afford it, if you can't afford a car, you don't need a freaking car. You don't need it. All you need is the Uber, the Lyft, the Lime, the birds, God, what else is there? You get the idea. Just use those things. And then the train. There are ways around it. You can do it. I did it. You don't have to worry about a car, okay? Don't let that be any deterrent in your decisions, okay? It's possible. I do it. I did it. That's it. That's all I got to say. Tip number 6, understand what you're walking into and realize what your responsibilities are, okay? If you're taking the risk and you're deciding to move your whole life, you're a pioneer of your life, and you're coming to a brand new city and reinventing yourself or restarting your life or whatever the case may be to chase your dream, respect it, okay? Respect your choice. Come here and realize that there are certain things that you have to do, certain steps that you need to take in order to advance your career, to create your career, to appreciate your career. Okay, there's a lot of things that you need to get involved in. You need to be able to take charge of your own life. And the way you do that is by getting involved in acting classes. You got to go to the casting director workshops. All this you can find online. There's Ace Studios for casting director workshops. There are acting classes. There's one in West Hollywood that I took called Margie Haber Studio. There's acting classes all over the place. It's like Harry Potter. You choose your house. You know, maybe you're a little bit Slytherin, maybe you're a little bit Gryffindor, or maybe you're just a Hufflepuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But you got to find your school. You got to find your place to nurture your craft, and then there you'll meet friends or whatever, and then that's how, oh my God, my life is starting and it's blossoming and it's so beautiful. Appreciate what you have. Be proud of yourself that you made it this far, but now it's time for chapter 2. Push, persevere, find out what you have to do, and take the next step, and respect yourself. Tip number 7 is budget and strategize. It's very easy to get swept away and lost in the shuffle here because you're trying to keep up on bills, you are excited that you're in a new city, you want to go out, you want to explore, you have new friends. It's very easy to forget your purpose in coming here in the first place. It's very easy to get lost. So make sure that you have a budget. Make sure that you have a list of things that you want to do. You want to get headshots. You need to develop your reel. You need to maybe network. You need to, I don't know, maybe you want to create your own work. All of this costs money. And then when you get your headshots, you want to get printouts. You want to get business cards. You want to mail those business cards to casting directors maybe. You know, there are things that you have to do, and that all costs money. And the only way to achieve everything that you need, unless you're rich, is to budget. And you have to budget correctly and accordingly and find out what your priorities are. If your priority is you want to go out and have fun, then hey, c'est la vie. But if your priority is you want to actually try to advance to your greatest possible ability, then you got to think that a little bit through, and you got to be able to budget, plan, and execute. Tip number 8 is network and create. You're only as strong as the people beside you. And in a business where, again, you can get lost in the shuffle, be in charge of your own life in any aspect, in any way that you can, especially if you're creative, okay? 9 times out of 10, you will not be booking auditions left and right. The name of the game here is audition as much as you can, right? You're going to get a lot of no's. You're going to have to build a thick skin, especially if you're like the superstar of your town. Get ready, because here, probably not. So you got to be able to have confidence in yourself. You have to be able to be aware that what you have to offer matters. But let yourself be heard. And one way to do that is to create your own work. The only way to create your own work, whether it be a webisode, short little funny videos that you might put on YouTube or maybe some other avenue, whatever the case may be, if you have the desire to create and you don't feel fulfilled if you're not creating because of whatever reason, you're not booking or whatever here in LA, find your network, find your tribe, your like-minded individuals that you can bounce ideas off, and magic happens. You know that moment when you find those people and one little joke of an idea turns into this snowball effect and everybody starts talking about it, and then you're like, yeah, let's make this happen. Do that. Do that here, because you never know what you create could do for you. You could end up being a showrunner of your own show. You could end up putting it online and somebody sees you and somebody likes you, and it doesn't matter what you do it for, as long as you do it because you have a goal in mind and you feel fulfilled. And just be a creative man or woman. This is the reason why you're out here. Be creative. Take charge. And it's going to help you a lot in the business too when it comes to actually booking something that's major, because if you make your own stuff, guess what? You're a producer. So you can say that now. Tip number 9 is huge, especially if you are going to submit for roles yourself in LA, which for sure you are. You have to build your actors' profiles, okay? And I'm talking about LA Casting, I'm talking about Casting Frontier, Actors Access, okay? And then there's also IMDb, which IMDb you can get auditions as well, and you can find agencies and casting directors and things like that on that. But I'm focusing right now on your actors' profiles for LA Casting, Actors Access, and Casting Frontier specifically. Those are the 3 that I recommend you should build and add to in order to submit. And in order to do that, you need to have pristine headshots, professional headshots that showcase your brand, and I would say about 3 to 5. You want to shoot 7, that's fine. If you have representation and they say that they want 15, whatever, 20, just listen to them. But if you're doing it on your own, just 3 to 5, something like that. You want to develop your reel. If you don't have a reel, what you do is you submit to student films. Student films, student films, student films. You have USC here. You have USC, you have UCLA, Loyola Marymount, you have New York Film Academy. There's a lot of film schools around here, and they need actors. You won't get paid, but you'll get paid in exposure, which you'll hear a lot, by the way. So copy, credit, meal. That's what you're going to get. But you're going to get a reel. And if you don't have a reel, you need a reel. Best way to do it is through student films. So headshot, develop your reel, resume. That would also help your resume, your acting training. You need to look like you have experience, and building your profile is gonna make you look like you have experience. And every step that you take is a step forward to getting that series regular. That's what you want, or that the leading role in a film. The goal is to work and get paid for it, and not have to worry about bussing tables. And my biggest, most prevalent tip is tip number 10, is fail big. Don't be afraid to fail. Because guess what? You're gonna. We all fail. Everybody fails. We try and you don't succeed. But what sets you apart is that you learn from those mistakes. You have to analyze, why did I fail? What is it that made me fail? And you learn from those mistakes. Every failure is an opportunity to grow and get better, okay? It's never a negative. failing is the best gift that you could have. And the more times that you fail, the more times that you have an opportunity to advance, to get better, and to change. Whatever that issue, if there is an issue, is, right? A lot of it is nerves, right? We freak out. We get into the room, and then all of a sudden, we lose 10,000 brain cells, and we're like, we're freaking out, and we have no idea what's happening, right? Because we're just so shaken up that we're like having a seizure. And the more that you do it, the more that you fail, laugh at yourself. Realize, absorb the fact that you're failing. Like, wow, I'm really bombing in this. And then whatever, you bomb it. But learn to take that power back, right? They want you to succeed. When we put all that pressure on us, when we fail, or we feel like we fail, we feel instant shame and like we suck and all these horrible, horrible things that we tell ourselves. And they're just simply not true. You know, we have the ability, we just really, really, really want them to like us, right? It's easier said than done. But eventually you'll learn that they may be the gatekeepers to your success, but the moment that you start seeing them as a colleague, as opposed to this deity descending from the clouds and offering you ambrosia to join them in the kingdom of heaven, everything is going to be a lot more focused and relaxed and peaceful. And I think that that's the biggest hurdle for a lot of people, a lot of actors, or young actors, or new actors. They are not the boogeyman. They want you to be good. They want you to be their equal. So if you approach it in a way where you are their equal, and this is fun, and this is you demonstrating your ability, right? This is you saying, hey, I heard you want this thing. I have this thing. Does my thing fit your thing? You know what I mean. It's kind of that thing, right? Think. Remember that you came here for a purpose because you believed in yourself. You shouldn't lose that just because you walk into an audition room. You believed in yourself. Show them that. And then that about wraps it up. Those are my 10 tips. Those are my sage words of advice. But, you know, take them or leave them, you know, whatever. I'm just another guy just like you. And, whatever, you know. Just thought I might help in any way that I can. Just talking. And, you know, if you like this video, hit like. If you don't, then don't do anything. Just go away. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Hope this helped. And if you need anything else, just let me know. If you want to hear more information about whatever, you know, just, you know, tell me. Some, like, I don't know, in the comments or something. All right, bye.